Just $3 million is the opening bid for the McKinley Mall in Blaisdell as it goes on the auction block. For that price, you get about 75 acres total, as you can see outlined here in red in this picture from the listing. It includes the mall, though it's only about half full and certainly faces plenty of challenges that we've talked about. The struggling shopping center was scheduled to go up for auction today, but that's now been delayed by a month. And all of this comes after the current owners of the mall, Cohan Retail Investment Group, fell behind with paying their taxes by nearly $200,000. The mall was in foreclosure before Mike Cohan's firm bought it for $8.5 million in 2021. But again, now the opening bid is just $3 million, somewhat of a steal it seems, or is it? Joining us now is Hamburg's town supervisor, Randy Hoak. Sir, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
I need a drink of water. Let me ask you here, the Hamburg, the mall there in Blaisdell, we see the auction has been delayed by a month. When did you learn of that, and what do we make of that?
Yeah, I just learned recently, and I'm not sure what to make of it, but I'm hopeful that this gives other businesses the opportunity to see the value in the property.
We showed the price tag, $3 million. That's an opening bid. I read a release from you from not too far back. We're pretty disappointed when we saw that opening bid price. What are we to make of that as you look at how important this is to the tax rolls?
This is an important piece of property, and it's been assessed at much more than $3 million. And we know that there's great potential in that property. So we want to make sure that it goes for the right price and it is in the right position for the town of Hamburg.
So as you're looking at it right now, this auction is delayed. It's an online auction, which is kind of an interesting way of doing this to begin with. How do you see this playing out? We've got a month now until this is going to begin. I know you haven't been able to get a lot of answers from the investment group that purchased this a few years ago.
Right, and we're hopeful that this is a new opportunity for new ownership and new ideas for the mall property.
What does that mean? What do you hope?
So I've heard from residents with what they would like to see. There is a lack of healthcare amenities in the town of Hamburg and the south towns as a whole, south of Hamburg as well. There's folks that are looking for residential, and there's folks that would like to see some life back in this property. A lot of people in Hamburg go way back with the mall. It was a robust shopping center. It was a place for people to socially interact. Times have changed, and it's time for this property to keep up with those changes.
We've talked about that with some of the other malls in the region, right? It seems like the big thing to do now is to turn it into a mixed-use property. That's what we may end up seeing with the Boulevard Mall in Amherst. How confident are you that that's what can happen with the McKinley Mall? Or do the challenges there mean that that's not as attractive an offer to a developer?
I'm confident. I'm very confident. We have the right people in the right places in town government. We have an industrial development agency that does a great job in welcoming businesses to our community. We have some great leadership in the business and public sector in Hamburg and in the region. So I think it's going to work out. It's a great piece of property. It's a gateway into the town of Hamburg, and we'd like to see something that would put our best foot forward when it comes to that property.
What role does the town play moving forward, right? So there's going to be this auction, we believe, in a month. We thought it was going to start today, which is why we asked you to come on the show. And then we learned that, that this has been delayed for a month. What will be the town's role in helping to shape how this happens moving forward?
The town's role is to position the property for success. One of the ways that we do that is in land use. So the town, before I came on board, created an incentive zoning district. So there's some flexibility of what types of uses can go into that property. I think folks that are looking at this property should know that the town is ready, willing, and able to work with them on creative uses, and we have an industrial development agency that can also bring some incentives to the table.
Yeah, and it seems like, especially for a property like this, and when you look at the importance that it has to the town of Hamburg, to Blaisdell, you would anticipate there would be some tax breaks and some of these creative things that the IDA could do to entice someone?
Absolutely. Our hope is to make sure that this property is a positive addition to the tax rolls, and we're ready to do whatever it takes to make that happen.
Finally, let me ask you about the importance. You mentioned the tax rolls there. I mean, right now the mall is about half empty. You walk through it and sometimes it seems like it's 3/4 empty. I know it's a shell of what it once was. How important is it to just the financial future of the town of Hamburg that this turnaround?
It's very important. You know, when you have a property this big with this price tag, it makes a big difference. But even more important is to have those businesses up and running, have those jobs in our community. So the financial impact goes well beyond the property taxes and affects all residents in the town of Hamburg.
Maybe a potential new owner is watching right now. Your message would be,
Come
make a
talk
bid.
to us. Yes, make a bid, and we're ready to work with you.
All right, so we're a month out from when this auction is going to go live online. Obviously something we will continue to follow and continue to reach out to the developer, which I know you continue to do as well, right?
Correct.
The current owner. All right, Randy Hoak is the Town of Hamburg Supervisor. This is an important story, and whether or not you visit the McKinley Mall, you visit a mall where you live, and it's an industry that's struggling. So we'll continue to follow it. Thanks for coming in.
Sure thing.
All right.